There you go. Perfect. Okay. Thank you guys so much.
Hey guys,
Josh
we're
is
going live.
excited.
All right, everybody, we're getting started. Thank you for showing up.
Thank you guys for your patience. We really appreciate it. We just got into town, changed, and now we're here. And this is the last town hall, so this one's going to be something that's, I think, special to all of us. And thank you all for so much for attending and being part of it. And so the purpose of these meetings is that it's just a form of data collection. And the way it is modeled is after the Drug Policy Alliance, the way that they would do that. And in that, I think this is a good way to introduce Val. Val Hubbard, Valerie Hubbard. She has been part of history for New Mexico, part of the medical bills, and now recreational. And soon the shrooms, psilocybin and all that, that's in the works in this state as well. So Val is always trailblazing into the new things, and that's good. And so I'm Nicole. This is Tracy.
Hi, everyone.
And of course, you guys know Chad. And if not, this is Chad. He is also been leading us in this, showing Tracy and I a lot of how to read the bills and where to find them and how to talk to people and how to be able to work the system that is supposed to be for the people. And so in that, we are gathering the data, as I said, and we're going to be doing pros and then we're going to be doing cons. I'd like to start off with a little bit of positivity. Sometimes it's not the longest one, right? People are excited to get to the cons. Tracy takes care of the cons, so she gets the fun action. But I'll start off with us just saying what is good, what you think has worked for you in the industry, something that you have experienced. The cannabis has brought good into the state. For example, it has created jobs. Those are some things that we have been hearing in the past town hall meetings. We have had them in Sunland, in Las Cruces, in Carlsbad, in Albuquerque, and now we are here. And also there is the New Mexico plug. They are hosting our Clovis meeting right now too. So
at the same time, and shout out to the New Mexico plug for being able to do that and stepping in and helping us out. We greatly appreciate them. We love them for that. So shout out to the New Mexico plug. To add to Nicole, I did want to start off by saying that we are here independently on our own time. We're not out here representing a specific company or dispensary. We all have worked in the industry. We currently work in the industry right now, but that's a whole different entity. What we're doing, this is all on our own. We wanted to create a safe space for people. We do understand that not everybody's going to agree with a lot of things, and that's okay. But we just want to make sure to give a safe space for everyone to be able to have a platform to speak about what's worked for them, what hasn't worked for them. Know that you're able to share the good and the bad here with us right now. The whole purpose is for us to create an industry that's good, that we like, not what they're going to assume. They categorize it under alcohol and all that. Cannabis is not alcohol. We're our own entity, and it's up to us to help our community leaders understand that. And that's where we come in. So thank you again, guys, for coming out. So a round of applause to you guys for being here.
For being a voice and using it. That's really cool. This is something that going around the state, it's interesting to see the cities where there's a lot of participants and sometimes there's not. I think this can be a good way to start gathering all of us, even if some opinions we don't agree with. We're all still part of the same industry. We're all still sharing the same passion, which is cannabis, and how we can give people good medicine is essentially it, right? While providing a safe workplace for people and other things like that. So I'll start with the pros. Who wants to go first?
It's a round robin.
And don't be shy. If there's anything good about it that's affected you or affected your community or anything you want to speak about, is as how the last, we're coming up on 2 years now in the bill. So that's why it's good to reassess where we are. That's why there's so many cannabis bills on the legislative session on the agenda right now, because everybody's trying to get to get their say done, and we want to have data that we can back up that we've taken out of the community so that we can go with that data forward, because we're not always feeling what the MSOs may be feeling. I'm sorry if one of you are MSOs, or we may not always feel like what, we need to listen to all both sides and just take the information back to just data collection. So thank you, and don't be shy about speaking of everybody that's working for you with the industry.
Yes.
Definitely jobs. They bring a lot of jobs. Not only that, it helps, kind of bring minds to the industry, kind of like the education process in the community. Now they come ready. This is a plan to get into this medicine. It's getting beneficial to us all, and for all of us to do so. That's pretty exciting to see. A couple of years ago, it was something like that. We were the one wanted to talk about it.
Stigma.
You'd be surprised how many ladies that grow vegetables every year are in their gardens and ask me, I heard it's good for arthritis. I come over here and talk to me for long periods of time. So that's pretty fun.
Awesome.
Very good.
Good job, creation. That's a good word. Thank you for starting.
One way I like to put it is, if there were to be someone who wanted to change something that you like, what would that be? So that way, when it comes time, we can say, well, our data is telling us different. That the industry actually likes this versus beer.
Well, it's like what he said. Like, I think that was the same thing. I think what it was before it became a connection, it was a switch. Of course, I'm sure most of the community is still feeling some other things, right? But like he said, the people that come in the store, they come from all walks of life, old to young, all kinds of generations, different generations, and different backgrounds, and they're interested. And that's what's interesting to see is, you know what I mean? Obviously, if there's an interest in it, and not only just because it gets you high, there's people interested because they make sure. They said that every day when I'm going to go, I go everything else, I'm going to know if I can go here.
Yeah.
You know, and he said, whenever you ask you if you want to go, or whatever you feel is interested in, it's good to see people interested in come out and look at you.
Yes.
Just be able to show them interest in it.
Yes. Yeah. Really opens it up. Thank you. Yeah?
Yeah.
Smoking every single one of these, so we're gonna have to go on.
Yeah.
We like to share our stuff at the end. We want people to be able to have that open table, If we get stuck, then we allow them to say something because then that gets the ball rolling.
Yeah. It's always awkward to start talking at the beginning. I get it, but don't be afraid to say what you're feeling. Because it's positive. Because we want to be sure to tell it to a lot.
Yay, Val.
Yeah.
Once from Will. For sure.
Yeah.
So a good medical program for sure.
I'm having a hard time hearing you guys.
Yeah, you guys can speak up a little bit. It's a little loud.
Yeah, or maybe
no worries.
if we move the table over a little.
Yeah, should we move closer?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I'll help you out.
No,
This
that's-
is gonna be funny for the live. You get
Yeah.
to look at Nicole.
That's
Okay, ready? One,
Yep.
two,
Two,
three.
three.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh,
Now we're
don't let
closer.
that
and
fall
everybody-
off.
That's okay. That's okay.
Awesome.
Okay, I think that'll be better for us.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Not forgetting why we started and being able to maintain a good program for the people. Thank you. Sorry you had to move up midpoint, Bennett.
Another good one that we've been seeing is like more patients coming in with PTSD, and they're finding out that that's really helping them. You can have like some kind of like state troopers that go to more stores that talking about how they've been able to change with that, and they're not having to go through handles and medication anymore. They're able to just be coming to get
It's so true.
knowing the industry and knowing how this science feels, I feel like that was more education that he picked up on this job. That's honestly not.
Yes, it's opening up the path to be able to bring attention to the fact that we need to have funded research, because if one experience like that can bring on so knowledge, imagine if people were actually able to invest in it and fully bring on cited resources that they can show to their family members, show to their coworkers if they have different thoughts on the way that they are handling that PTSD. I think that's great, a great experience. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The laws have changed the social work. Number of reasons. It could be a limitation. One of the reasons is when my sister said she has this, and before like she never spoke like and now she gets everything because of
Yes, that's true.
Well, that's interesting.
That is.
Yeah, that was
That's a new
that.
one.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is a new one.
yeah. Law enforcement. I mean, I'm very pleased to hear that, and I can't help but have known that it would bleed over because there is PTSD. There is any number of other things that are, and hopefully better communication within the community with law enforcement and the folks in the community. I know it's made a difference down in like the Sunland Park area and wherever. So I'm glad to know that about the eastern side of the, because sometimes our biggest opposition in passing the laws was from the eastern side. Uh, yes, exactly.
And can I ask you guys something? Because I noticed driving in here, oh my gosh, I saw so many cops.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm used to seeing it. I have Texas plates, right? So I'm used to that. But being in New Mexico, I still felt a little bit weary of it. And so is that generally the climate that you guys face? And I feel like experiencing that and hearing these opinions, it seems that it's still deeply rooted in like law enforcement is very much against it, even though it's been here medically for years and such.
I don't feel that way in Hobbs.
Okay.
And I don't feel that way with our sheriff's department whatsoever.
Okay.
I've worked tattoo expo. I've been in the public where the sheriff's currently working. They have always been nice to me, spoke to me. The police officers that I have ran into in Hobbs, they treat me different, like I'm more accepting now. They don't show me. So what I can say is the only way that they're gonna really go after somebody is just to go after their car. Or if you know you're doing something wrong. But as long
Is
as
anywhere.
we're following our rules and following their rules, they like what's going on.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
That's really good to
that's
hear.
really good for us to hear.
Okay. That's good to
So they're
hear.
more accepting.
Very excited.
Yeah, and I was asking from the place of
Yes.
That's good.
And as far as the police are concerned, they're really not worried about the they're not marketing people. As long as they're not making people down on somebody, let you know.
Uh-huh.
You know,
That's interesting.
I've got a lot of stuff that we have that we decided to do.
As they say, bigger fish to fry. I genuinely did not know.
I did not. That's good. I can't hear.
I can't hear you, brother. I'm sorry.
We can't. Yeah.
Anyway, I've just come across situations that I've never working on that we didn't have a close conversation before. But when we have been against it, they have been, but they have been kind of discredited, but they're not going to question you on that. They want to about this. So when we're in the past, kind of this was wrong. They're going to think that it's first. Now it's kind of like this. I'm not saying over yet, but it's not something that
That's
I think
cool.
the point is that it's regulation. I'm sure you got some pounds. Forward and everybody else.
Yeah, or semi coming through.
Something that, you know, just becomes something that hopefully becomes normalized. It's not something that's really but it's not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's good. That's interesting because this is the first time we've actually heard this throughout the whole state.
Exactly,
You know,
from
that,
anywhere in the state.
Yeah, law enforcement, you know, having a positive impact from the industry, you know, becoming less aggressive toward this, I guess is what I would say. That's the first time I actually meet.
Yeah.
There is bad apples. There is bad apples.
Oh, of course.
For the most part,
It's not something the industry here is like, oh, you know, that's a good relationship. Actually, that's really interesting to hear.
Well, I have to say, you know, I started running bills in 2001 for medical cannabis. And it was 21 years of my life to get to the end of legalization to finally get that done 2 years ago. But I want to compliment you on Hobbs because we could always count on Hobbs having legislators that whoever would be your elected legislators that would be with us at the roundhouse, we could always count on them to be a pro where all the rest of them uh, yeah, all the rest of the communities on the eastern slope over here would be much more um, uh, difficult to change minds, to change hearts, to constantly work against us. I mean, I would go to hearings and there would be nothing but cops lined up, and you know, they would bring in everybody. But I'm glad to hear that because that's always what has meant to me. I was telling the guys coming in that Hobbs has always been the most liberal of the eastern slope that I knew about just because I worked with them at the legislature.
Nice.
you will say this with official, the city officials are different. The government limitations, where you can go, they're gonna take a lot of, there was a lot of, the city officials are looking as far as those that are in with the city making, with the city making. Now, I can really say this is the best that they can. Yeah, I mean, this is what the first story, the first story like this is like, kind of looking to see like, that side of it. This is all the regulations that go into it. And one of the things that outside of eating and trying to do that. So a lot of people opt to go to the smaller cities, you know, like Wellington, because road regulation, city regulation, so that's a little different when you say like the law enforcement and the sheriff, so they're getting support. I don't think it's the same. But city officials, say the same. Maybe now that it's been brought to you, or a few years into it, maybe days have changed. I know that the first thing about it was the push. They're making it hard for the people that are interested in taking part, so to say. They're making it hard for them. now I'm not really working with the
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are actually
Good
really good
one.
inputs.
Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
really great, guys. Thank you so much. This is great data. I
Yeah.
gotta say, yeah. Awesome.
Thank you guys. Any more pros?
I think the big pros, it's allowed us to get more involved in the community. Like, ladies are headed to community relations, so
Nice.
we work at two expos, toy drives,
Chamber.
yeah, there's
That's
National Chamber of Commerce, so we get involved in the community quite a bit. Yeah, we work farmers markets every summer here.
That's
I love that.
And yeah, so it's all
Texas?
we're really just trying to educate everybody. That's what she needs to do and everybody else.
That's
We allow everybody to go too, so it just gives us a chance to educate the whole community and get more involved. And us getting involved with like the toy drives and things like that, it shows that we're not like it's nothing bad, you know.
Right.
We're
We're not gangsters.
And because like our symbol is not, it's not kid friendly. So we still go, we just don't wear our, flags in the high school.
Right,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
I understand.
Right.
Yeah, and we've tried to sponsor stuff for the high schools, but we're not allowed to technically. So we still try to go for like cheer teams that have nothing to do with school. We sponsor some of them. Karate teams. There's a couple of softball and basketball people that we know about. For a school, we can't do it, but like the cheer team, they made a poster today with our logo and everything, thanking us for sponsoring. So they're open about it.
Yeah.
They're open about it.
I've been wanting to try hard. I'm sure it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I think you guys would have a better chance at it than us because you guys aren't really like
Yeah, it'll get it growing.
We just provide the resources.
Yeah, if you guys can use something else in tech school about like growing, I think that's what
Yeah, you guys can feel it when you for homegrown.
Oh yeah, for homegrown, I definitely.
Yeah.
I think we knocked it
Yeah,
out.
we worked hard on that.
Yeah. I mean, I think we did a stellar job on that.
Yeah.
But if we would grow it like we can, the vegetables, flowers.
Yeah, we can grow the free art.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to the agriculture state.
Yeah.
And David said to Caleb, to David Hill.
What did he say?
He's on the live, David Hill. Yeah.
Get on my email
Gee, David, just calling out like that. Mid-meeting. It's like, check your email. Yeah. Where are you at anyway? Where are you at? Awesome. So we got a super good list with the pros going on here, and I appreciate how you guys were so receptive to starting off with really good points here, and not just like going to a con either way, even though it's like, hey, let's do pros, and then so I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for being respectful on it and having so much good input that we have not heard to add on here. And so with that, if you guys have any more pros, we can move on to the cons.
Can we think of, and if I'm just to add something extra, I mean, is there anything that the CCD is doing that you guys like? Have you guys had any issues? Like testing, let me ask you about testing.
I think testing, well, I don't know. I've heard some things that, I guess a laboratory out of Albuquerque or something was, they were just slapping tests on there, like they weren't putting actual results, they were just filling the numbers and sitting them out. I think it was one of the bigger ones,
With an L?
L.
There's Rio Grande and then there's another one too, but anyways, I think that and,
Spectre.
yeah, I think that's what it was actually. I think they ended up 5%.
Calling out by name.
And in the CCD, there's still quite a few dispensaries doing black market stuff and doing things. You know, they're not. That's hurting us, the people who are trying to follow the rules and do everything by the book. It's hurting taking our business. I think.
Oh, the bill.
Bill will.
So the bill that they actually have introduced right now is addressing some of that stuff. But the CCD just doesn't have the power to do so. They can't even confiscate cannabis whenever they go to a place and it's legal. So the bill that they have right now, if you guys take a look at it at some point, I have it on my socials. If you guys follow me, anything underlined is all the new stuff. If it's new material, say new material and attributes. But if it's new and the underlined, just look for the underlined stuff and read that. Anything crossed out, the old stuff is taken out. They're really trying to give the CCD more power to shut these places down. Right now, they just do not have the power. They just do not have the funding. And so they need manpower and they need power, legal power, legal jurisdiction authority, I guess, in certain areas. Now, I'm afraid of them doing certain things with that because it could go in the opposite direction of what we intend. Yeah. So personally, I feel we should go with an entity that already does it, like the guys that go to the bars and check the licensing and stuff like that. All they would have to do is just be trained on the cannabis side. That's it. Maybe a couple weeks, training, and they're probably good to go and just let people do that. I don't see why not go that route. Hopefully they'll do it, but that's just the bill that's proposed. But I kind of feel that the CCD does need more power, and that bill needs to go through as soon as possible.
We feel the CCD needs more. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say the CCD we feel needs a bigger budget to add more compliance. I mean, it's a big state, and there is a lot of what is it, traditional market shit going on, and and I'm sorry. I know we all came out of that at one time, but still, we need to have more money in the budget for the CCD to have more compliance officers to come around, to have more teeth to where they can shut a place down when they see right away. And we also are reminding people too that because people would contact me and say, this place is selling stuff and they've got stickers. You can just pull the sticker off. The stuff's coming from California, blah, blah, blah. And I go, and what can I do about it? I mean, literally. You need to call the CCD, either purchase the product, take it to them, call them. You're not a snitch. This is our industry. So we want to keep the industry true and pure as a true New Mexico industry. And it's not snitching somebody off if they're doing illegal stuff in the thing. They need to be brought, it needs to be brought to the attention for the CCD.
It does.
So that's what we feel. I feel that we're going to talk about bigger budgets for them to hire, because there's only 12 now inspectors. They started with 1, and you all know the size of our state, even though it's not heavily populated. It's still a lot to get around to, and so we need to have more CCD inspectors that are able to get out and check on this stuff.
Yeah, good budget. I don't know what.
How do you guys feel on the pros to move on to the cons? Anything else to share, maybe?
Cons.
Yeah, those were cons.
What? Speak up.
Okay, moving to the cons.
Okay.
All right, switch of presenter. Change over.
Okay. Okay. The cons are always my favorite because I like to hear what everybody has to say. Cons, yeah. The cons.
Those cons.
And cons can be lots of different things. It could be a lot of different things. What is the CCD not doing to help? I mean, we've already kind of started getting into that. What else? Testing.
Testing big.
Is it too expensive? I mean,
the city ordinances. I think it's like they need to have one, because every city does its own thing. You have to do an ordinance, like here you have to audit. It's you have to have a 10-inch water line to your facility. And they just make it too expensive. Like they pass regulations that also make it too expensive for the average small person to get into the cannabis industry, and then they have too much competition to even make it work. You have to have a lot of money to buy it.
Right, right.
True.
It just makes it hard for the smaller person. That's what coming into this. That's what it's all about. Everybody thought it was going to be all the little guys going to get a chance, but it turned out to be some, in a way, it happened around everybody. Just maybe they don't get because when everybody got it, figured out the city started passing their own ordinances, their own zoning, and it just created hard for them. There was nobody that could say like, hey, you can't tell me. Somebody from higher up in the state, usually nobody would go to that. They're passing on just laws, or these laws that they're passing only benefiting a certain group of people that everybody else is taking out. There's a lot of that going on, and a lot of people complaining. They go to the shop a lot of loans.
What do you think about the raising of the plant limit for what is considered the micro grows or it being that would make a big difference? We feel if and we had that in a bill last year. I don't know if it's come up in one of the bills this year.
Which one?
Raising the plant limit.
The plant limit thing, I believe, might be in one of the bills. So they have two bills in right now. One's a Senate, one's a House bill, but they're the same bill. They're just going through both the Senate and the House to try to get it passed.
Try to get it
It's
passed.
it's a strategy that they do when it's a short session. But I think there might be something in there, but I don't know if it addresses increase or decrease. I hope it kind of decreases because some of these places just have too many, and there's really no reason.
So you're talking about decreasing of like the large producers, the ones that are growing 20,000 plants. Yeah. We'd like to see that decrease too. I mean, that's just my personal opinion that's way too many plants for anybody to grow anything that's should be decent. Absolutely. I think out of state licenses should pay more higher tax. That's exactly
Higher tax.
Yeah. To show that we're caring, at least trying. Because like we said earlier, there's always a loophole, but we can at least try to close that loophole and do something for now.
For sure.
Try to figure it out because we're all still trying to figure this industry out and how to regulate
Yeah.
it correctly. I think New Mexico's on a good track. I think we've done it, closer to right, but no one's done it perfectly yet.
Right.
So.
But that's the reason why we have these gatherings, because it's up to us, really. Obviously, our lawmakers don't know what they're doing, but that's okay. It's brand new to them, and it's up to us to give our input. And I just also want to mention, I know we're still like starting off, but I really want to say thank you guys for coming out. I know it's a small group, but it doesn't matter if it's one person that shows up, a few 7 people that show up, or like 30, 50, however many. We want input, and it starts with us and it starts with you guys. So we're really grateful to have you guys out here to speak your voice, speak your mind, because at the end of the day, this is what's going to help us as an industry. So thank you again for being here, guys. Yeah, for sure.
I had a couple of speakers at one session. One of them was the lawyer for SLAS, and we had multiple reasons why he didn't have this venture, but
I can't hear you.
we had a panel of speakers at one of the other sessions earlier, and one of the speakers was the lawyer for SLAS.
Right.
And the lawyer had no reasons to be a lawyer, even if he lived in Colorado. Not even mentioned the whole thing, but
right.
At the same time, representing people who stole goods from hardworking New Mexicans.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't want anyone like that to speak up on my behalf because I was representing someone.
Right.
So that's one of the comments that I noticed. People like that speaking up because my voice is wrong. So that's why I said that's good focus.
Thank you. For sure.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
And that's just like we had tonight. It would be nice if we had one coming in.
Oh, for sure.
It would be nice if one dispensaries came in. But instead of feeling like we're all out to get one another, that's not where we're at now.
Mm.
People that come into our store, they're not gonna go to another store. People that go to that other store, they're not gonna come to ours because they're getting what they want, they're getting what they need.
Mhm.
That the town that go on one thing, like I was saying last night, is we need to have more diversity. We need to be able to get together, come in as a group to fight for our rights, not just one or two. It's not illegal in a as long as it's behind.
Right.
So that's what I would like to see. That's one of the cons of that. Because everybody thinks it's wrong. It's not
I think what we got is kind of like you said, come together as people. It's industry. It's kind of issue that that everybody's, no matter what company or what association, what way you are, everybody's saying industry.
Yeah, it's an
So
industry.
these things are not good. It's good. He said it's good. It's good. A lot of times people will have all these opinions, you know, but these are moments like this, moments like this, you know, that you can speak your mind, put it out there, and not become something like she said, they should come up with it. Because this is an argument, and she said, this is what's going to help push, you know, legislation or something later on down the line.
Absolutely.
It's important for those people to be a part of it.
Mhm.
What's their opinion, not just complain about it.
Yes,
So-
that's
Exactly.
exactly.
Because then
Yeah.
at that point, they're a
Yeah.
part of the problem, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Why
we,
didn't they maybe just try to push something out there to see everyone to come to the industry?
Mhm.
And I think that's just how the point is to the industry. People,
Exactly.
people just being quiet, scared of ruffle feathers, or scared of another opinion. That's one of the problems that the industry is facing. Basically, everybody. People scared to speak up for themselves or speak up for what they feel is right. And, you know, other people just pass laws in our favor, speak for us.
Exactly.
No one's said nothing. We just did this.
Everyone wanted to come together.
Yes.
This is the we come back to you later.
right,
It's
right.
so important to recognize this as an industry for the state. This is a new industry for the state. I tell people it will rival the Permian Basin at some point. If everybody, yeah, if everybody will just like, if we pull together, get these laws, get the testing and the compliances and things kind of all under, we are building the steps for an incredibly big industry.
Because for every bad one that they catch, it kind of reflects on everybody trying to do it. Right?
Exactly.
Trying to push every- trying to push everybody.
Mhm.
That's already industry involved as well, because a lot of them businesses are doing it correctly. Now that we've all been there before,
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, we are New Mexico True, and this is an industry, and it should be dealt with as an industry at all times and speaking about it. And
there's no room for anybody else.
But
exactly.
take care of the people first, your people.
Yes.
The people that suffered through the drug war, the war on
Oh my
drugs,
gosh, yes.
that's what we need to take care of first.
We do.
Yeah.
So it's just farming in a different sense. Everyone is farming in different parts.
Yeah, it's just farming.
It's gonna benefit us. We're all along. As the professionally, the farming industry, keep it going and do it correctly, overall, you're right, it is gonna benefit the state tremendously.
Exactly.
I agree. I have a little tidbit to share here with the whole benefit your people first. And I am aware of a program that's going on from a university where they are wanting to basically study the education that happens in New Mexico, K through 12. In this instance, it's middle school. And so this university, which is a university from, like, not even from New Mexico, they're probably up there, up in northern United States here, but I forget which one it is. But they're basically conducting studies on that, and they hired tutors to basically get them their data, collect their data and feedback to see how the education is in New Mexico, right? Well, the tutors that they hired are everywhere but in New Mexico. They're getting people that live in Austin. They're getting people that live in El Paso, which, yeah, El Paso's 40 minutes from New Mexico, but it's still not New Mexico, right? These
No.
people are still paying taxes to Texas. And so why is it that you're getting out-of-state university is going into a state and then hiring out-of-state tutors to try to fix a problem, and yet they have their whole issues of not paying the tutors on time, and well, this is not going to want to make the tutors work, right? So already you're supposed to come in and help the state. You're not actually helping the state because you're not even motivating the people that should be collecting your data. And I think that's just one instance of how other states have taken advantage of New Mexico, because they're like, this state, this state, this state. Well, it's up to us to now speak up and say that we're not gonna let them do that anymore. There's way too much money that cannabis is bringing in for the roads to not be fixed, for there not to be programs in the libraries. It all connects back to community. It's so true. So I think it's awesome that you're involved in like the tattoo things and expos, and that you are allowing us to host these meetings, because it all ties back to community. It doesn't necessarily mean like we have to be just cannabis, cannabis. No, it's all about it. So yeah, that's something I wanted to share.
That's what the whole movement was based on, water system, helping one another.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It is true.
I think if we could stay true to that and make some money at the same time,
Yeah, help your people first. There's money. There's money.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any more cons? Something that you guys would like to see
Okay.
change? Yes, of course.
This one's for my friends.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Why are we educating our children a little bit better in the industry? Why are we fighting for that?
Absolutely.
We got kids who are going to school with their babies. I blame parents on some of it. Because
Yeah.
I talked to some of the teachers, and the teachers bring the kids in, they bring the parents in, and the parents look at the kids and say, I told you not to bring them to school. Okay, we're not giving them their hazards to take to school to take. Why are we giving them the education to choose if that's what we choose? Because we're not giving the education and not making sure you're supposed to follow by the adults. We're causing other children to see this as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be a little bit, I think that there's something we need in order to be able to educate our parents that are using it, that want to get out there and give their kids a healthier life. We need more education in the system so that we're not breaking our industry for things. I think that's
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right now, that kind of falls back on us as a teaching guys. Still, the state, because this is our industry, and we should be able to protect it. I've been trying to do that myself. My dad was my parents were teachers. My dad was for 27 years, and he was telling me that his parents don't talk to their kids about parents. He's like, he's still having education. He said, but if someone like yourself, son, could go and educate them, it would help. So that's when we want to do this, because it's up to us at the end of the day to educate the parents, to lead them, educate the kids. Be it a flyer in the retail, or maybe have a day where we can invite parents to have a little workshop, and maybe ways to talk to your kids. Like that would be something cool. I think there's books that are out there too. Maybe we'll have a book review. There's little stuff like that that we can do. But until the state does something, I think it's up to us. And I think the sooner that we do it, the better. Yeah. But that's a good point. That the state really, or just us in general, really needs to start thinking about it. And there's this thing that I was saying last year, and I haven't really said it in a while, but I was saying it's 420, your kids are. Because you guys remember that commercial at 7 o'clock, your kids are? It's the same thing. Parents need to figure out, is my kid smoking weed? Because they just found out in Alamogordo, my dad caught me smoking weed when I was in middle school, and they saw the speed limit sign that I had to move 6 feet, and I had to dig it out a hole, move it, and put it in, and the cop actually drove by while I was doing this, and asked me, hey, what are you doing? And my dad goes, oh, and explains it, and the cop goes, okay, have a good day, drove off. That was my father educating me. But back then, cannabis was legal, it was a different time. But, we need parents to use, similar things like that, to educate the kids. Don't punish them, whatever, to learn, unless they're using it. But, teaching them about it. Like, you shouldn't be using cannabis as a drug. You shouldn't be doing this, blah, blah, blah. Once you get home, okay, yes, and, whatever. But yeah, I do feel that education does need to be a huge thing here in New Mexico. That's one thing that I've done on my podcast is try to educate. I'm so big on it. I'm talking, kind of rambling on about it. But yeah, education's huge, and I do.
And to add to that, I will say that in other cities that we've gone to,
Right.
everybody is pretty much in all ingredients in that. Like
Exactly.
education is huge. And to add to Chad, there could be parents out there that don't even know where to start on education, and that's okay. It's up to us to have that information, correct information at that, because there's people out there just misinforming patients out there, and that's not okay either. So definitely, we do want to highlight that education is key. Were there going to be any other cons?
Oh, sorry, I had
Yes.
something to add to that on the kids part. So something that was also brought up on top of educating kids is allowing kids to work with the
Oh,
plants
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
that come from generational farmers. So that's something that was also brought up on that point. Is that something you guys feel you agree on, or you feel that might bring some issues? Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Part
Mhm.
of it.
Yeah.
I think that's how everybody has to look at it as medicine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And
want our pharmacy to stay generational, to pass on the knowledge to the next generation. Exactly. Right. Yeah.
What?
100%.
Right. That's right.
Sorry,
There
so were
you
you
go.
gonna say something?
I do feel education. I feel like it's a perfect opportunity for a parent to be able to talk to the child that is taking the babe to school
Mhm.
and inform them that this is medicine. It's an adult medicine. Unless it gets prescribed to you by a doctor, then we'll deal with you being able to. But it's just like if you even equate it to, I never like to equate the cannabis to alcohol, but there's just a certain time that age limit that you can actually freely go into and have a drink or buy a beer or however those things work. I'm not really sure anymore, but yeah, I definitely think it's an opportunity but we need to have some kind of way to to have something that will educate the parents to be able to talk to their children, because obviously
Because there are so many good properties about this, so because of this, so many different properties, so just really focusing on some of those properties.
exactly.
It might be the best ones, but there's others.
Yeah.
Maybe just focusing on some of those other properties that not necessarily not essentially, just the entity.
Yeah.
And just like there with the education, and maybe from there transition into, the other parts.
How's it going? How's it going?
That's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing good. We're still going here. We're on the
Absolutely.
Because like the same way they can send their kids to school and give their medicine, school nurses will prescribe to them.
Mm-hmm.
The school nurse will not prescribe, a teacher or something.
Right. Right.
It's true.
Same with like the medical facilities here. Like my mom runs Legacy medical facility, and they do all types of things. They do regular medical stuff, and they do drug testing for all the different
Workers that.
here. Yeah, and so sometimes jobs will call them and they'll say, "Is it okay to fire them? Like, we don't know what now, and it's legal." That's just them not being educated. So I think if we can get more educated to like hospitals, medical facilities, schools, and law enforcement, that'll help out. And that'll help us.
Yeah.
If the adults are educated, and that's going to make it more comfortable for them to approach the children with it, because at least now they
Exactly.
Yeah, and that'll allow like if the law enforcement gets involved, so like they go and do like
Seminars.
program kind of,
Yeah.
like they can go do one on cannabis education.
Mhm.
True.
About that. So it just allows them.
What if we
Yeah.
also include bud tenders in that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Bud
we
tender
definitely
education.
need to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important for us to also think about that. A part of a hiring process would be a part of that education. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And that's actually a pretty good point because
It's
your
it,
bartenders should be that educated.
they
When
should
For sure.
be.
do that.
For sure.
Yes. Yeah.
A good bud tender will always have that education. It's not about just pushing whatever product, highest THC or whatever.
Yeah.
We all know that's not what it's about. Terpene profiles are huge. Um, and knowing what the effects are, what works best for you, because not everybody's the same, right?
No.
No. Everybody in the
Yeah, we
Good
push
job,
for more
Noma.
education, and right now, along with Betty too, we have Candy. She's our head of education. It's a meeting with the organization. We're working on an education program for maybe first it'll be for our bartenders, and then once we get comfortable with it, we'll open it to the public, and anybody can come take
That's
it.
awesome.
If the
That's
school
good.
wanted to sit down and talk, we
That
can
would
sit down and have a meeting and talk to them, or the chief of police, whoever wanted to do it.
Right,
We want to
right.
educate them first.
That's beautiful.
That's
Yeah, and
great.
we make sure our bartenders have the proper education too, like before we hire them, we put them on it. That way,
That's
we put them in the right position.
that's beautiful.
I didn't know shit, but
I think
And that's beautiful, to be able to share that knowledge with others, especially, going in and it's a new person maybe, right? They don't have any kind of experience with cannabis and they're kind of afraid to ask, right? Sometimes. So it's beautiful to be able to have that open door policy, if you will, so that way people feel comfortable to be able to learn and to be able to also share that experience and education with other people as well.
I think programs like this are good because a lot of the times, I remember when I first got in the industry, it was medical still. And so I believe I got pretty good training, right? Because you had to kind of really know what you were selling at that time. Especially in Sunland, we only had maybe 12 customers, patients a day. And so you really made sure to read up on everything you know. You had a lot of time. And now there's just, in a sense, open brain, right? Everybody can apply, and education is not prioritized. And I think that in this, because it's a common job, right, bud tending, that they have put that word at a low level. When really, I think bud tenders bring so much value to the company. They're
Heck
the
yeah.
face, right, as everybody always says. But also, like, if they don't know how to sell your product's just not going to move, and that's going to affect you directly. If you don't give them cool displays, if you don't go and give them some simple pamphlets, those small little things can really help make the difference if your brand's going to sell or not. And people don't realize, it's
Experience,
the
yeah.
bud tenders that are moving it. It's the bud tenders. So it's cool that y'all are putting together a packet of information for bud tenders to go and get educated on.
Because there's dispensaries out there that aren't doing any education.
Anything.
Percentage out.
It's 30%.
Yeah, they'll be like, here's a 30.
Yeah.
just, I just.
It's crazy because I can smoke a 19%er and it'll put me on my butt, and I mean, people just don't know. And it's important for us to just, put that education out there. So thank you again for doing that, guys. That's really
Yeah.
important. It's awesome what you guys are doing.
We're not really seeing that anywhere else in the state.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
could take
Really?
that.
First time I ran into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Statewide.
Yeah. So take pride in that. That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, for sure. Because how many, I would feel bad if I'm a bud tender and I didn't know anything and, somebody has major anxiety and I'm like, here's this awesome sativa. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to make sure that we're doing correctly,
It's easy to scare somebody with the first edibles.
Oh,
If
for
they
sure.
take that first dose and they get scared, they're definitely
Never.
Yeah, I know
Exactly.
people like
Never.
that.
They don't care
Yeah.
about the benefits of it. They don't care how it will help them. They just know
Right.
They never want to feel like that
Microdosing.
again.
Yeah.
That's all they know.
It's me. I'm talking about myself.
No, I once threw up on an elevated bar, like it was a cinnamon, and I don't touch it. And so I can only imagine people that don't work in cannabis how they feel.
I had a brownie, they're like, find your dose. I'm like, find your dose. I ate the whole thing. They're like,
Oh no, yeah. And there again, if somebody had been able to talk to you about microdosing, and that's what a big part of what I believe in is microdosing, always starting low and going on. And another thing that's been bred out with the Texas borders that we're dealing with is that they didn't want anything but high THC, where we had hopes coming out of the medical industry, or the medical, is that folks would actually work with like having one-on-one CBDs, having a 5% THC, 5% CBD gummy, even a 5% gummy and a 10% CBD if it's a high sativa. It's like good to have that balance, and that indeed is a work. People can like work, they can move, they can do that without having this like blast, like yeah, it's a
Yeah.
real con for me. Yeah.
Benefits.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful to think about.
Yeah, and there are folks that do have to work on cannabis, and that's why the CBD becomes an important thing to keep together instead of breeding it out, which is what's been done in most of all of the places to get to, because I hate to just say the Texans, but whoever is coming into the state to want to buy, that's all they're interested in is what's your highest THC. They really care less about a CBD, don't even want a CBD. So what happened is our growers started breeding that out, and now we have what we have, and we need to like bring some of this back. Another thing in education that has been brought up to us too from other communities is that there should be education even for folks going into the industry as a CEO, et cetera. Because if you're a contractor, if you're a roofer, if you're a blah, 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 any of these things, you have to have an education that shows that your certification, so that your business doesn't go under, so that you can train you have the knowledge to train your employees properly on how to do this. So it starts at the top, that they're not just money people that are coming in. They need to like be able to pass some tests and show that they have a certification, and they will like continue on and be recertified every year, just like a cosmetologist. It doesn't matter if you're a CEO of 30 dispensaries, you need to like follow the compliances and behaviors of.
Yeah. CEO should be able to sell me a rosin, and they would actually know what they're talking about.
Yeah. So that's brought up to us in many different ways in education, like even from starting from the top, that they shouldn't even be allowed to get into the business and get a license until they have a certification showing that they've given any thought to studying any of this, or financially even being able to get into this, because we didn't start this program so that people would go under the first year or go under the second year. That wasn't the idea. So you need to show your own smarts before you can get that license, is a part of what we're hearing back. I just happen to agree with it. It is part of the data we've been collecting from people.
Is it possible to propose workshops for our lawmakers before they decide to make decisions? Is that this is what we're doing, collecting this data for, to have a workshop before they make a decision?
That's a thought I've had, but I feel like I was thinking about. I think that's what committees are really for, right? But then they're placing people that are not necessarily accurately representing the industry in these committees
It's
that are
just
supposed to advise the lawmakers in that. So maybe I don't know. A workshop would be a good idea, but also maybe putting together like a committee of like, hey, maybe these people, or maybe listen or give this to the committee. Maybe is what it is, but
Yes.
yeah, because
Yeah, exactly.
it's crazy to think like, why are citizens having to put together workshops for people that are being appointed by the state for a committee to advise them? I think already like you don't have a good basis. Then get the people advising the committee to be part of that committee. Yeah.
Having to put them with you. You know what I mean? Because obviously nobody else can do it.
Right.
So in order to
Yeah.
make things happen, if you want things to happen, you have to.
And what one of the, go ahead.
We thank you guys for that. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, whoa.
Well, we had to shake it up a
Want to get
little
applause
bit.
for this shit?
Don't fall.
Yeah, but that's a really good idea on the workshop, Bennett. I think bringing attention to the fact that the citizens want more, clearly that committee is not sufficing, and a workshop is going to bring attention to that.
And one
Also-
of the other things that we are asking of the folks who attend these town halls that we're having is that you then become advocates yourself. I mean, that's what we are advocates. We stay in tune with what's happening at the roundhouse. We're on top of the laws that are being, and we could then go, if nothing else at this point, we can go to lawmakers and say, well, this is what our data shows, and people already know, lawmakers already know that we're doing this, so they're interested in what we're collecting. But we also need to, when we put out, like if you follow Chad, that sort of thing, when we put out like something like this bill is being heard in this committee, and you have representatives or senators in that committee, then you need to find out who your representatives and senators are for your area, so that you can immediately contact them, and you don't have to like have big speeches or anything. But if it's something in the bill that you're not liking, or if we're telling you that this is going down and you find it's something that is not appropriate for what we're considering for the industry, then we're asking you to like call your representative. They must take every call. The person who's on the other end, their staff member, must take every call, and they must record the call from from the area that they're calling in, and it's a yay or a nay, or you can tell them, or they'll may even ask you like, what is it that you're disagreeing with about this? And you can tell them just that, or you can say, I need to tell you what it is that I'm disagreeing about, so that they have. But that's how you become advocates without having to go all the way to Santa Fe, like, and deal with it. We can work this industry as a statewide level of advocates all over the state by contacting our representatives and senators ourselves and letting them know. And Chad stays pretty on it. I stay pretty on it. And Chad's really good at information and getting it out so that people can, so that you guys can have access to this information, because we only want, as citizens of the state, we only want this industry to be the best that it can be, and be the best it can be for the citizens of this state. We're not interested in anybody making a ton of money. We're not interested in anybody going under. We don't have any, any of those things. We're interested in making an industry that is best for our state, so that people can thrive and grow with the state, with the industry.
I honestly feel that's another side of it that needs education as well, because the average citizen, they don't know who's making our laws, they don't know who's in charge of everything, they don't know none of that. So,
I do recognize that. Having spent 21 years at the Roundhouse, I do recognize that. But this is one way to reach out to the community. and each one of your community members in your community. And we're asking that then you like speak to your folks that you're come in contact with, like you, and put your senator or your representative on speed dial so that you don't even have to think twice about it. I have the White House and the Congress on speed dial whenever there's something going on there. I also will call and make myself heard. But yeah, you have to. We have a small group here, but a small group grows. It's just like a growing thing, and get these folks on speed dial. And that way, once you know immediately what something's going down on a bill, then you can speed dial that up there and say, and tell them you're able to talk to your friends about exactly what this is happening and what you need to be doing and what we need from you as a community.
And to help out, actually, and I've never done this at any of these. If you guys want, at the end, swing over to my computer and I will show you exactly how to do this and go about it. So that way, I'm sure somebody boggling their head. Well, how the hell do I do that? I'll show you. That way, you guys know. And going forward, you can just check yourself, and then
Right.
if I post something, or if you see something before me, send it to me. We'll both work on getting it out to everybody. It's going to be a team effort. I get stuff sent to me all the time, and I have no problem sending it out. So it's vice versa. If you guys have something that needs to share, tag me. I'll share it. That way the information just gets out there. It's not a clout game. It's just information getting out. And
Yeah.
the more of us in the industry that know, and the more of us that know this process and how to contact and go about talking to our representatives, the better this industry is going to be. So
Yeah,
let me know if
exactly.
you guys want to afterwards. I can just swing around. We'll take more than maybe 2 minutes to show you how the site works, and that way you guys can look yourself.
Yeah, and that's one very important thing. It's like all of a sudden, like, where do I find these bills? Like, where is this website and that sort of thing. But once you see it, it's like so simple to like be able to check that every day, or be able to check what committee your bill is that you're following, or you think that might be appropriate for your area. To check where that's at. Chad will be sending out like notifications also, so that you can follow that. And that's the main thing, is getting those senators and representatives on speed dial and call them up and know that you don't have to give a long speech. They already know the history of cannabis. So it's just like letting them know, what about this bill that is right for you or wrong for you or your community.
Because at this moment, to be honest, telling the legislators that cannabis is medicine is kicking the dead horse.
Yeah,
At this point,
right.
everyone agrees that cannabis
Exactly.
is medicine. Now we have to address the other things, the stigmas, the misconceptions,
The
stuff like that. Now
education.
there's other stuff that we have to do. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to move the ball forward. And if we don't get a lot done in this session, and there may not be a lot done in this session, because this is only a 30-day session, which really deals with budget. And we'll see how this goes, but still important for you to start to become aware of what's going down and how you can still participate as a citizen. And the other thing I want to say is that it's so important that everyone votes. It's so important that you vote. I don't care who you vote for. It's not important to me what your choice is. What your choice is who supports your industry. And that's who you look for. And you vote for people who support your industry, not vote for people who are saying, well, I'm just not sure about those dispensaries downtown. Well, I'm sorry, I don't think you need my vote then. I mean, that's literally how you go about voting people in, and how to get your that's how you do it. That's where your power is in your vote. But you must vote for understanding, not personalities or not any of this or that. You vote for whoever's supporting this industry.
I vote for whoever's good for my industry is really what
Yeah.
I look at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All really great points, guys. Did we have any other cons by chance that you guys can think of? We touched base on testing. Val's really big on testing for heavy metals, pesticides.
Mhm. I'll tell you guys, like, when the first producers, 7 producers came on in medical cannabis way back in our earlier history, uh, they were allowed to have 90% pesticide in the medicine. Not everybody knows this, but they were allowed to have that. So We finally got that kicked down to 70%, and still they were bouncing up on 70% at all times. What we need is a labs that can be trusted, and we need like I believe we need like a state lab. The ag department has a hemp lab, which has worked really well, which is paid for because labs say, oh, well, we can't afford the equipment for heavy metal. We can't really do that much pesticide testing. It's like, yes, you can. I mean, I see the Ferrari you're driving, like, yes, you can do this stuff, if there's, but also I'm into a state lab. And we'd like to see some more communication between the agriculture department and the CCD, and getting access to that lab, because how they do it is how Chad is going to tell you how they do it. When they come and get a sample from out, they don't just take whatever sample you take to them. They come and pick their samples and they put it in sealed envelopes and they take it to their lab, and everything has a chain of custody. And so therefore there's much more trust in what it is, and hopefully you don't have a corrupt state lab. But there's already so many people that feel a lot of our private labs are not as sustainable as they should be. That's a big thing for me. And they also can do heavy metal. And uh, uh, I mean, we are a state that had bombs dropped out here forever. There's stuff in this. I mean, we just drove through the Permian Basin. I mean, it's like you guys are living it here. I mean, there's stuff in the soil, and if people are growing here, if people are growing anywhere in this state, that heavy metals need to be tested, and pesticides need to be like at some sort of medium quality of what is approved by the state as an approved uh, pesticide, and that should be what's on the counters of folks when they go in, when compliance folks go in to check on your compliance. They should then have the approved pesticide there, instead of just whatever pesticide that they did. Go get some Roundup and let's hit this baby. There looks like spotter mites out here. That's going to take this crop down.
Let's go get the raid bomb.
Let's go get the raid bombs and throw those in there. But definitely testing is big for me. I have been on it since I began with the medical program and all the way through. And I'm pleased that we didn't even have pesticide testing on our medicine for quite a while. It took a while before that even came out on the label. So we do make small steps forward, but it never takes the foot off the pedal. You cannot let it rest. You have to keep on keeping up. And so I'm big on testing and looking for a state lab.
State lab.
I definitely agree with that. We do manufacturing, and we do the product to consider premium than what it is. So the more testing, the more validation, how good it is, and how premium it can be, then the good, because we ingest it and say
Exactly.
otherwise, if we can't ingest it, why would we sell it to you? It doesn't make sense. So I agree with that 100% from our brand standpoint, everything like that.
And it should be something you're proud of. One should be proud of like what their testing thing is, and as I brought up to the Department of Health many years when we had a governor that was so difficult to deal with, to get legalization through for 8 years. So we had the Department of Health to deal with and getting more producers on and stuff. But I have so many times brought that up to the Department of Health. It's like everybody goes, well, nobody ever died from smoking cannabis. But, you might get the tissues of the folks that have died and see how much pesticide is in there, because they have been consuming this for a very long time, and you've been allowing it to happen. So I hope before I die, I'm getting older. I hope before I die that I get this last of this stuff sort of done on the testing. It's really important to me. Absolutely.
Put a disclosure.
education do requires policy.
Mm.
Right. Yeah, we feel like a lot more levity should be given to the CCD that is being given, as also feeling like more budget needs to go to the CCD. And to talk to you about the taxes that were first passed with the legalization bills that were sort of the equalization taxes, like close to 200,000 folks were let out of prison right after in this last couple of years that were in for simple. Uh, yeah,
Charges.
yeah, the charges were so ridiculous that they needed to be out of prison. So that was part of the bill that we got passed. Another part is the taxes, and the taxes going to the communities that the drug war has hurt the most. And there are people that are on that. I can't be on top of that one. But the Drug Policy Alliance that I worked with for so many years is now called Drug Policy Action. They still keep an office in Santa Fe. And the woman who runs that, and they have a lobbyist, what they're doing is watching the taxes, because that's uh, where drug policy is now, is into harm reduction in the cities that have been hurt the most with drug use and drug abuse. So they're watching those taxes to make sure that they're being pulled out to go to communities. The reservations have been hurt. There's just so many ways that this tax money needs to be watched also. So there is somebody watching the cooking on that stove. So, yeah.
All right. And were there going to be any more cons? No. We've got quite a bit of information, guys, and we're honestly both pros and cons. Usually we use this time now to have an open floor discussion. If you guys have any testimonials, and Nicole's just going to show what we have so far cons wise.
Sorry. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
And I hope you'll tell people about the town hall so that you can spread the word about outreach of folks trying to like.
So you guys are ready to do this again? Our doors are more than welcome. They're open for you guys all the time, so let us know in advance and we'll
We really appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I think that this is going to be our last one, and the one in Clovis that's being co-run tonight, because we're in the session now, and we need to get this stuff compiled, and we need to start dealing with the legislature and the bills that are at hand, and being able to stay on top of that. But this isn't over. In other words, next year is a 2-year session. So in the summertime, we may again start the town halls. So that we can reach out to other communities that have, we haven't hit the north at all, as far as Farmington and these areas, Jow, any of this sort of thing. We haven't gotten far north or in the midsection so much. We did get to Albuquerque. We had quite a good turnout and a lot of good information shared there. So
for the most part, people have been really receptive, and we're just super grateful. In where, I'm sorry?
Oh, you're in Tatum.
Oh,
Far
wow.
out.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Oh,
Very
far
cool.
out, Tatum.
Very cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's awesome. And, we hope that it'll be more big of a turnout next time. I mean, but honestly, we're really grateful for the heads that do show up. It starts with us here, and we're really grateful. And again, guys, we just want to say thank you to you guys for coming out, for providing a spot for us.
Mm-hmm.
We're really grateful for that. And like I said, it starts with us, and we're already taking the steps to get there. And I couldn't be more excited for all of us in this industry. How about a round of applause, guys?
Thank y'all again. It's been great. And we'll see you guys come around. Hopefully, maybe later on this year.
Yes.
We'll see, because 60-day sessions next year. So, I'm ready to sesh. What about y'all?
Yeah, let's do it. The sesh.
All right, end it here. But all right,
yeah.
guys, thank you so much for watching.
Get together.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's get in the front.
Let's get in the front.
Yeah.
Here, just turn my computer around so I can see. There we go. There we are. Yeah, I'll show you guys the lesson thing. We'll do the
We're gonna take
outro.
a quick picture real quick, the outro.
Who watched? Who's on there?
David.
Oh, Will was on there.
Oh, Will.
Yeah,
Hey,
Will
it's
was up on there.
Val.
Hey,
Oh.
everyone.
Oh, he did
We're
say
figuring
hi
out
to
we're
you.
gonna
He
say
did
bye to
say hi
everybody
to
real
you.
quick. And
If he's still there, I don't think
I
he's
don't know.
there.
I don't think he's there anymore. You guys are good
Yay!
job. Yeah, great
Thank
job.
you.
I'm sad it's
course.
over.
Yeah, me too.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Ah,
This is a hard
good old. The summer will fly here.
The summer will fly.
Yeah,
I know.
summer will fly here.
Bye.
We'll be flying.
Bye.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.
Yay!
Where'd the balloons go?
That's so cool.
I don't know where they came from. That was dope.
That was
Thank you for the
dope.
balloons, whoever sent them.
That was great. Yeah.
Who was
Thanks,
that?
guys.
Who was
Appreciate
that? Oh, I think
Who
it.
was
Look, it's
it?
Will.
Will's
Oh,
still there.
Will.
Hey, Will. he's
Education
still
is
there.
hell.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hey, Will, Val's going to get in touch with you, okay?
Sorry, guys, I had to get
She
my
loves your
selfie
edibles.
in.
Kind of busy, but those gummies, first class.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you
Oh,
so much for
sorry.
Hey,
watching.
shout out to our homegirl Karina who couldn't be here.
Oh,
we love
Karina,
you,
we miss you.
Karina, shout out to you.
We love Karina.
Yay.
Yay.
All right.
Oh, that was cool.
Was that Karina?
Oh, I don't think so.